Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. And it's I was going to say a fine morning, but it's a decent morning. It's a morning where we are we're looking at a win rather than a loss. Which, listen, it's Championship opposition. You'd have expected, but FA Cup pulls up all sorts of different results. I mean, asked Crystal Palace fans this morning how they feel about the FA Cup, but it's a morning where we can reflect on on a win rather than a loss. And it's not the Premier League, which is definitely what we need. But it's not a bad thing to be winning games, even though we made a fucking hard job of it, to be quite honest with you. But it's not a loss. There we go. So we go into this game. Listen, I think 99.9999% of West Ham fans going into this game would have banked on this being a loss. The way things have been going at the moment, it's not great, it's not good, and it's really difficult. It's really difficult. I know Jack Finn. I'm going to be addressing that in a different video, but this is the morning after the game before. But yes, it's 99.9% would have said we had a good chance of losing. QPR fans, and quite rightly so, and I'm not going to slag any one of them off. I know there's been a little bit of to and fro on Twitter and things like that. Fancied themselves, and quite rightly so. Quite rightly so. The ground does us no favours in terms of in terms of giving us advantage at home. We've been poor over the last couple of weeks, and I thought we was poor-ish yesterday. I don't think it was the worst. But I don't think it definitely wasn't the best. I wanted a little bit of, a little bit of dominance in the game, to be quite honest with you, because I think even though we got the win, good performances breed confidence. You look at Wolves, they've had a few good performances, even though they've lost a couple of games. And I don't think we've been playing that bad. The Forest game, especially, I mean, Wolves was fucking atrocious, probably the worst I've ever seen. But we've had a couple of performances where you sort of think to yourself, like, on other days we could have got we could have got the wins there, but we didn't. We didn't get the wins, and we've got losses. And even the ones that we've played quite well in, Forest, I'll give you that, we've ended up coming out with a loss. So going 1-0 up just before half time. Listen, first of all, I've got a give a big shout out to Dinos Mavropanos. I don't know what has happened. I know he's gone for a scan this morning, but hopefully, it's not too serious. It was a pretty serious way they carried him off the pitch, and it looked, it didn't look great, to be quite honest with you. But hopefully that was just precaution, and there's no serious injury there. And we wish Dinos all the best. Nobody should be going stretched off like that in a game. So listen, hopefully everything goes well this morning. But the manager, let's start with the manager. 5 at the back going into, I can see why. Because he's frightened. He wants to try and reassure things. He had a couple of players missing. Fernandez was missing, Paquetá was missing, which I'll address in a different video. But went 5 at the back, and it was a lot of the same, really. Sideways, backwards, sideways, backwards. Can't create clear-cut chances. Can't sort of shift the ball quickly. I know a lot of players, and I'm never going to slag off youngsters, but there was too many at the back that they don't take the chances. They don't get the ball out their feet. They don't hit the wingers quickly. It's always sideways, backwards, which makes it very, very difficult to get any momentum, especially when you're playing a Championship side who are full of beans. But I think that dynamic switched a little bit once Dinos had to come off. So one Dinos, and we had to go for it at the back. I think Pablo came on. He had a good game. He had a decent game, I thought, Pablo. Tati was full of energy. Still a couple of players that struggled. I thought, it was Somerville's best performance for a little while yesterday. He's got his goal. I thought it was a well-taken goal as well. We need more of that, And and he got his goal against Forest, and it was chalked off, I think wrongly, but it was, it was a sort of like a confidence booster for certain players. Bowen struggled. Bowen still struggled, which is concerning when you look at what we need. If we're going to have any chance of staying up at all, we need Bowen firing, and I thought that might have been a chance for Bowen. But again, because of the shape, I think it just they know he's the threat. Everybody knows he's the threat. And if they know he's the threat, we need him playing well, and we need people picking up the ball from him and carrying on his legacy sort of thing. But yeah, he struggled a little bit. I thought Tatty was full of beans. I really like him. I like as I said before, I can forgive lack of talent. I can't forgive lack of effort. You can't say that anything about him is lack of effort. He got the winner in the end. But we get the goal. Second half, I think it was very much the same. And I think a lot of people were thinking about the same things when it comes to the Forest game. You failed to take your chances. You failed to get on top. And then all of a sudden the equaliser comes and you're under the cosh. But I thought once they got the equaliser, QPR, and look, all due respect to their fans, they come in droves. They was cheap tickets, but they got 9,000. There was meant to be a rumoured 6,000 in our end. I didn't see that, to be quite honest with you. It's pretty much full of West Ham fans. But yeah, it was, all due respect to them, but I don't think they made it hard enough for us. I think there was other teams that could have come to us and made it a lot fucking harder. It didn't look like they had the confidence. I don't know, they've got one of the worst records in the FA Cup ever. It's going into the second, third rounds and all that. So it was no surprise there. But their fans were good. Their fans were decent. They had a good day out. Made it a little bit difficult for ourselves. Probably could have done without extra time. But then again, sometimes extra time going into the games, it sort of gives you a chance to sort of like play the rustiness out here. So you never know. We looked a little better in extra time. Tatty got the goal. I thought it was a great header, great cross. And that's what we want to see more of, going into the games. Crossing's been real problem for us, especially since Diouf went off to the African Cup of Nations. Wan-Bissaka was back. He looked a bit leggy. Without Paquetá, without Fernandez, I thought the midfield three done okay. I thought Magassa was awful, to be quite honest with you. But I thought Popsy done okay. He was a player that's leaving on TalkSport. We'll talk about that in another video. I'm going to do one straight after this. So where was I? I forget now. But do I need a tissue? Yeah, I'm cold. It's been cold for fucking weeks now. I've had a fucking nasty cold. But yeah, it's all in all, a win's a win, and we get the win, and we carry on. But I've got to say this: I picked up a program yesterday. My boy picked it up for me, and there's a little open letter here, and I'm going to read it to you from Jared Bowen. And we've got to remember Jared's still a person, and it seems like he's picked up a little bit on the criticism, probably from here and probably on Twitter about his captaincy. So, an open letter from Jared Bowen. Let's just read that for you. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the London Stadium for today's Emirates FA Cup game with QPR. We'll step out on the pitch today and give everything we can to get back to winning ways and get us through to the next round of this historic competition. Then our focus remains on the Premier League and getting points on the board and getting out of trouble. If we give up, then there's no chance in the world, and that's got to be in the mindset. I know it hasn't been good enough, nowhere near good enough this season, and the position that we're in that shows that. It's been a collective of different things. I don't think it's the effort. I don't think it's the work. I think we're a team and that works hard. I think we're a team that works hard and wants to do well. Well, I'm not sure about that, Jared, to be quite honest with you. But ultimately, I don't think we've been in the best form individually. And as a team, we've been punished for that. We've been 7 points adrift going into the second half of the season. Just a little bit over that, Jared, by the way. And we know the situation at stake. We know what we have to do, and we know we have to do it. We have to continue being a team that fights for every single minute that we're on the pitch. We have to keep fighting and we have to keep going out there, going to win games. That's the only way it's going to change. Every single game now, we've got to treat it as almost like a derby. And if you're individually not playing well, not having your best game, I think it's important for the team's sake. Everyone's got to fight for every single ball. That's going to be the only way that changes it. That's going to be the only get everyone back cheering for us and in good spirits. That's the only way I know. We have God damn, it's fucking cold. We have a FA Cup tie today, and it's important competition for us. Of course, we want to win in the Premier League, and we also want to do well in the Cup. You draw confidence from good performances and good results, and we have to go into this game and win it. When you win the game, it can certainly change the mood. And when you go into a run of games where you've got that win under your belt and mentality does something for you, it gives you that little bit of confidence and can play with more freedom. There will be a lot of kids here today attending their first game, and if something they'll never forget, when I was growing up in Hereford, it was a pound to get in for under 16s, and I love going to games and having that experience. We've welcomed 2 new lads into the group. I don't know what the fuck that's got to do with anything, but there we go. We've welcomed 2 new lads into the group in Tatty and Pablo, and now help us. They're strikers and have scored goals, and it's important for them to help us flourish, help them go out there and play their game. For me personally, it's been tough because the last couple of years, we haven't been in a position where we probably want to be. It's a big honour being captain in this club, a club I love and a club I've done my best for since I joined nearly 6 years ago. I'm a human being and I'm going to make mistakes and things people don't agree with, but I'm big enough to take the criticism on the chin. I'm certainly asking myself questions, and it's up to me to figure things out. I know that I haven't played to my level, and I know that I can make that I can, and I don't deserve any special treatment. I'm never going to begrudge fans their opinions because they are part of football, and fans have been supporting the club longer than I've been alive. We're in a very privileged position to be in the Premier League. So for me, I'm going to keep on trying to improve my form, keep trying to help the team as much as I can, be the best captain that I know I can be, and do everything I can to bring the good times back. I like to think I am an honest, hard-working person, and I can only apologise for our current situation and work hard to improve it. It's down to me, it's down to us and the players to improve that. Come on, you irons, Jared Brown. Yeah. Sounds a load of fucking PR nonsense to me, and I've heard the same thing over and over and over again, but I hope he fucking means it, and I hope he fucking can do it. But there we go. Listen, I'll be back in a minute with in about midday with a transfer update on the Paquetá situation, so don't go anywhere. We'll be talking about that, and I'm going to be looking at that a little bit more in depth, but there we go. But for now, it's a win, and we can enjoy it at least. Well written by ChatGPT. Good one, Jim. At least a little victory today, and we're going into a massive game at the weekend with Spurs, and maybe it's a chance to start the revival with the win. But there we go. Through to the next round. We'll be back later with a draw as well. But there we go. Thank you very much. One thing left to say from me: come on, you irons.